everybody, and welcome back to Belladonna. Let's go ahead and take a look at some of the stuff around here.
A big and heavy candlestick. It looks like there used to be 2 of them.
Ah, but we can't take it.
It's a mortar. And a pestle, too. They seem to
take it?
belong here, but I'll remember where they are in case I need them another time.
Ah, yes, okay. So the mortar and pestle
The
are
label
there.
says Dr. Wolfram von Trauerschloss.
Trauerschloss.
So this is the man who brings the dead back to life. He looks as though he would have been handsome once.
Alright.
It's warm. I haven't realized until now just how cold my body is.
Well, you're kind of dead, so I guess that makes sense. There's an urn over here. There's an exit. Let's look at the journal page.
The story is so sad. I don't even know if I want to read this one.
Well, we have to. I'm sorry. My wife took the wayward maid's death harder than I had expected, further confirming my suspicions that they were indeed having a secretive love affair. She is passionate and irrational, raging all day and crying all night. Where a few months ago the cold shroud of silence lay over our house, now there is the wailing shrieks of bedlam. One should think that she would be used to dealing with the grief of lost loved ones by now. However, in all sincerity, I don't believe she was ever as affected by the death of our son as I was. I also suspect that she might have guessed I had something to do with her lover's demise. If she wouldn't talk to me before, now she yells and barks at my every movement. I hardly leave my laboratory these days. I even have a small bed down here where I sleep the few hours when I'm not working. All the while she prowls around upstairs like a hungry tiger and attacks me over futile nitpicks as soon as I poke my head out. What happened to the love we shared when we were married? We were going to live together in her inherited castle. We were going to have children together. Now all I get is abuse and a cold bed in the basement. All I want is for things to go back to the way they were before all this. Well, maybe you shouldn't have killed the
name on the plaque is Lucas von Trauerschloss.
Oh, that would be their kid.
This must be the ashes of Wolfram's son.
That's sad. Alright, we got a bowl here.
A beautiful china bowl. It looks hand-painted.
Alright, so we got a bowl now. Alright, let's go ahead and exit. The door is open, so...
A dead body.
Ooh, what is this? This has to be the doctor. Right?
It's the body of Dr. von Trauerschloss.
Ooh, and
He's
there's
dead. And what's more, he's been murdered. But who could have done this?
Well, there's also a candlestick right next to it.
There must be some clues around.
I bet it was Colonel Mustard with the candlestick.
And it seems to be the murder weapon.
Ah, so we've turned this into clue.
The body is still warm. He cannot have been dead for much longer than I have been alive.
Ah, okay.
Did he have to die for me to live?
Perhaps.
There's something in his pocket.
Ah!
It's a small, delicate key. He kept it in the pocket closest to his heart. I wonder what it unlocks.
That's a good question.
There's a letter clutched in his hand.
Alright, let's see.
His final words?
Let's see what his words say.
A clue left by the killer.
Ooh, either way. Over the course of a sleepless night, I have thought about my next course of action for every possible angle, for it is indeed time for me to take action again. Even with the troublesome maid out of the way, I see little chance of getting my old Belladonna back. If anything, she is worse now than ever before. But I have an idea, one that kept me awake all night. I have come very far in my research by now. I can fairly predictably create living creatures that are stable enough to not spontaneously die again. This is consistent, through many different species of animal. I have noticed something peculiar, though. The return creation seems strangely vacant and sluggish. It is as if, although the body is brought back to life, the soul is forever lost. The creation is perfectly functional and responds to stimuli just as if it was truly alive, but the mysterious spark of will seems to be missing. I know no other way to describe the phenomenon. This bothered me before, but now I cannot help but think that this might suit my needs. Isn't it precisely the strong will of my wife that is causing all the problems? There is no need to be poetic with flowers this time. I am in no short supply of lethal substances in the laboratory, and poison suits my need well, as it leaves no physical trauma on the body. I will still need to make incisions in the corpse to replace internal organs with clockwork parts, but stitching together surgical cuts is much simpler than trying to repair unhealed bodily damage. The integrity of her visage is a priority. To extinguish Belladonna's current life and give her a new one, to bring her body and mind back, minus soul and free will, a beautiful, obedient automaton, a mechanical doll with the functionality of a woman but who is responsive and does what she's told. That, my dear future reader, would truly be something. It is high time I tried my revivification process on a human subject. Well, that is disturbing in a couple of different ways. Alright, there's another journal page here. There's also a door.
This letter is signed Belladonna. I've been waiting to hear the other side of this story.
Now, this might be her. If you had asked me just a few years ago about my future, I could have never fathomed my life today would be as it is. So strange a path as the twists of fate set me upon that I wake every morning bewildered, and like a small child I expect anything and everything to happen during each new day. The night my planned future snapped out of joint and took the whole new direction was the night my son Lucas died. I married Dr. Wolfram van Troudersloss in the spring, and we loved each other deeply back then. How young we were. He was an educated gentleman from the University of Ingolstadt, and I had at first assumed that we would get a flat in Vienna. Instead, he convinced me we should live in my family's old castle and accept our roles as old-fashioned nobility in the little village on down the hill. We moved into the castle with a staff of 30 servants, beginning the task of breathing life and joy into the majestic halls. At this time, I expected to live out my life as a lady of the household, minding the servants and indeed raising children. Before long, our first son was born, and shortly after that he was once again departed. I was devastated, of course, but Lucas had been sickly from the first day, and even though my husband had blocked out the possibility from his mind, I was not entirely surprised when it happened. Nonetheless, it changed us. I believe Wolfram blames me for what happened, that he thinks it was somehow my fault. He retreated to his laboratory in the old dungeon and started doing unholy experiments and God knows what. These were dark times. Instead of a household and a child to take care of, I had no guests, practically no husband and no child. Everything I thought would occupy my time was gone, and all I could do was grieve in solitude. The castle staff left me one by one until there were only a handful still here. My existence was meaningless, and I spent my days doing nothing. But I dealt with my grief in my own way, and in time the claws of melancholy began to loosening their grip on me. In so many ways I have Clara to thank for that. And that would be the maid, I believe. Can I go here to the basement? Oh, wow. Small grave. There's also a journal page. Can I go up here to the grandfather clock? I'm kind of interested in this. Can I go up here? I can't go to the grandfather clock? Oh my god. Oh, there we go. Okay. Fine. What is happening? Where's she going? Oh. She literally had to walk all the way down that staircase.
It's an old clock.
Yep.
Tick tock, tick tock.
Alright. I guess we'll go to the backyard. Actually, should we go outside? Or should we go to one of the rooms? Let's go outside. I think that might be the most logical step. Let's go. Bottle of milk.
There's a bottle of milk out here. I wonder how long it's been here. At any rate, it's frozen completely solid. No wonder in this cold.
Alright, are we going to pick it up? Yeah, we have a bottle of frozen milk and a journal
One more
page.
Belladonna letter. Let's read about this Clara figure.
Alright. Oh my god. Clara Steiber was one of the several chambermaids we hired when we moved into the castle shortly after the marriage. In the warm light of recent events, I feel as though I could pick her out of a crowd almost already at this time, but I suspect that the truth is that she is just another servant, one of many, and I didn't pay close attention to her. I know now she deserves. The time following the death of Lucas was hazy and unclear from my memory. I know I spent most of my time in the armchair in the living room staring out the window. I know now that that must have been a difficult time for the staff as well. My apathy left them without purpose, and more of the household was shut down. Soon the cooks and stable grooms began abandoning what was wisely identified as a sinking ship. As more and more of the staff left the castle to seek employment elsewhere, there was less and less reason for the rest to stay, and the household was quickly decimated. But throughout all this, young Clara never left my side, and she gradually shouldered more and more of the household responsibilities, making it her task to take care of me and nurse me through my melancholy. It was her loyalty and industriousness, when everyone else left, that finally brought me back from my condition, and indeed, her love. As I sit here to write this in a long, unbroken chain of happy days, Clara and I have the whole castle practically to ourselves, and nothing to do but to enjoy our lives and each other. We sleep in a new room every night, and cook our own food and have picnics under tables or in front of the fireplace. We have no incentive whatsoever to uphold convention and norms when this house has become like a secure pocket inside the rest of reality. In truth, this touches on what I treasure most in Clara. Neither of us reap any concrete benefits from our union, neither financial nor societal. There is no embedded purpose of producing heirs. Our relationship exists solely for itself and its own reward. I am already adopting her adorable habit of naming inanimate objects. The castle is not quite ours, however. Wolfram still lurks like a ghoul downstairs and occasionally emerges and spends the night up here with me. We have little in common anymore. In fact, he is like a completely new person. His mind is vacant, his stare distant. He's thinner than ever before and shivers with cold. Clara jokingly suggested that we might have him declared mad and sent off to an institution. An innocent idea in her mind, but with some planning, this might eventually prove to be our surest path to finally reclaiming the old castle for us alone. Alright, so she actually was doing stuff with the maid, Clara, but at the same time, she was also planning on trying to get rid of the dude.
This must be the family cemetery.
I don't know what that
baby Lucas rests in an urn in the dining room. Why is that?
That is a good question. Small grave.
It says Snowflake the pet cat. How cute.
Alright, there's another grave.
The stone is so old and the name is worn off. The tombstone says Clara Stieber.
Oh!
This must be the grave of the wonderful maid I've heard so much about.
Wait just a second.
I can't help but notice that it's been emptied.
That is a good point.
The tombstone says Clara Stieber.
Okay, well...
This must be the grave of the wonderful... The tombstone says...
Okay, there's an open grave, but okay, there's a journal page right next to it. Okay, great God, why did I not then expire? Why am I here to relate the destruction of the best hope and the purest creation of earth? It was mere days at the peak of our bliss when Clara fell ill. She complained of headaches and tiredness, but I made a bed for her and laid her down to rest. For the few days I cared for my companion just as she had cared for me, and nursed her with all my love and compassion. We believed it was just a passing sickness and that it would be over shortly. Each morning we thought she was getting better, and each evening we realized she had actually gotten worse. And then today, I entered her bedroom. She was there, lifeless and inanimate, thrown across the bed, her head hanging down, and her pale and distorted features half covered by her hair. In horror, I behold the body of Clara, my love, so lately living, so dear, so worthy. I rushed toward her and embraced her with ardor, but the deathly languor and coldness of the limbs told me that I held in my arms had ceased to be the Clara whom I had loved and cherished. Alas, what foul curse lies in my gentle touch? I have lost my only child to the darkness, my husband to devouring madness, and now my lover has departed this world as well. Is my love truly as poisonous as my ominous name? That is sad. I'm actually kind of sad. We can go to the greenhouse. There's also a mausoleum. Alright, let's take a look at some of the boxes.
Yes, those are indeed boxes.
Awesome. Can I take a plant? This is Belladonna.
A natural object, standing in a pot. A man-made object.
Ah.
The plant can consume nutrition and grow bigger, and the pot can't. Neither of them can think. So what about me, then? I can think. I know that. But am I natural or man-made?
You're kind of both. Let's see, there's a journal page, there's a lantern. I'm guessing we can take the lantern.
This lantern might prove to be the very first thing that actually manages to shed some light on my situation.
Alright, let's take it.
I'll keep it.
Awesome. Alright, there's Antropa Belladonna here.
Belladonna. This little plant has caused a lot of trouble. For a flower, it's not particularly beautiful, but for a murder weapon, it sure is.
Alright, so we got some Belladonna. It's a big tree.
It's a large tree. Looks very peaceful. Couldn't I have been reincarnated into one of those instead of being forced back into this mess?
That's a good point. I wouldn't mind that either. Is there something in the
inside.
basket? Nope, nothing in the basket. Alright. Ooh, there's 2 journal pages in here. I will read one of them, then call it, and we'll do another
More
episode.
letters.
Alright.
Can someone tell me what happened to poor Clara?
Well, we'll find out, hopefully. Some time has passed since the demise of Clara. As I calm down and regain control over my emotions, it occurs to me that there are some mysterious circumstances concerning her death. The sickness that came over her was swift and sudden indeed. Admittedly, my own medical knowledge is limited, but it still seems to me that such an instant and terminal change in the bodily humors should not occur naturally. Could it be somehow she ingested something that made her sick? But what? And from the line of thought, it was not far to leap to ponder if she was murdered. It was long ago that I lost track of the details of my husband's deranged research, but I do know he handles lethal substances and obscure chemicals. How easy would it have been for her to slip something into Claire's food? But so then, why would he do such a thing? Does he know of our affair? We were very careful, but perchance he guessed it despite our efforts. He would not go so far as to murder based solely on a guess, would he? The distressing truth is, I no longer have any way of telling what Wolfram is capable of. It is of vital importance that these notes never reach any eyes but my own. These are grave accusations I am scribbling down, and in ways of proof I do not have anywhere to start looking, and yet the possibility is there, gloating in its simplicity. Alright, so we've got one more note, I believe that's it, but we're going to go ahead and call it here, and we're going to continue this game. This game's got a mystery behind it, and it's very steeped in, like, Frankenstein, and I friggin' love monsters and stuff like that, so I'm very interested. Also, she's clockwork, which is sort of steampunky, and, God, this game is so cool. Anyway, we're going to go ahead and call it. Hopefully you guys are enjoying it. Once again, if you want to check out this game, there's going to be a link to the description below. And also, go ahead and check out the rest of our channel. Be sure to comment, and subscribe. And I want to once again thank the people who created the game for giving me a key. That was very nice of you, and I'm thoroughly enjoying your game. Anyway, I'll see you guys in another video. If you guys like that, click in the upper left to subscribe before you check out Goat Simulator. What is going on? Also check us out on Google Plus and Twitter for all the new updates for the channel, and check out Long Night.
Fuck you, fuck you, fuck you, fuck you, fuck you, fuck you. Fuck you.